Wow, look at all this glistening snow. Guys, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. You know what the word glistening means? Glistening means to shine, right? Especially to kind of reflect, to reflect a light source. So the sun is up there, right? That's our light source. And the snow is just like shining, right? It's glistening, right? So you might hear someone talk about a diamond glistening, right? If someone's wearing a diamond necklace or something and there's a light, it's just the diamond just starts to glisten, right? So this is my glistening snow, guys. It's my snow. It's the kingdom of snow. This is my kingdom. Isn't this a beautiful kingdom? Guys, I am the ruler of the kingdom of snow. I am the hegemon of this kingdom. It means I'm the ruler. I control everything that happens in my kingdom. All right, so I control all the people. I'm in control. I have the authority over all the animals. Now we'll probably run into one of my jackrabbits. You can see the tracks here, the jackrabbit tracks. So we're just going to walk along my path here and see if we can spot some animals, some of the wildlife in my kingdom. So guys, welcome back to another episode of Mad English TV. Today I'm going to teach you the word hegemony, or some people say hegemony or hegemony or hegemony, or this is a word that has many different ways to pronounce it, okay? So the G can be pronounced J or G. And you can put the stress on different syllables. Hegemony. I've also heard hegemony or hegemony. It's a confusing, sometimes English words are like that. Remember a few years ago I made a video about oh, there he goes, coming to say hi to me, one of my rabbits in my kingdom. Wow, look at that bright green grass there, guys. I don't remember them asking permission to grow bright green grass in the middle of winter. Look at that. I think it's fake. I don't allow fake grass in my kingdom. Go have a word with the people who live at that house. So guys, I'm the hegemon. Okay, so there are different pronunciations of the word. Remember I made that video about what's that word? Garage or garage, garage. That's another word that has many different pronunciations, all right? So yeah, so here's another word that has many different pronunciations, but it also has many different forms, okay? So you might hear someone use the word, just cross the road here before one of my citizens of my kingdom runs me over. You might hear someone use the word hegemonic or hegemon, like I used back there. Okay, so it has different forms: hegemony, hegemon, hegemonic. Okay, so there's just different forms of the same idea, the same word, right? So if we talk about a person or a country or some individual, we can call them a hegemon. A hegemon. Okay, so if I want to say I'm the boss of my kingdom, right, I could say I am the hegemon. Everything is under my control. Okay, the most common form of the word that you hear in the news these days is hegemony, okay, with the Y at the end. That just means domination, okay? It's referring to especially when you hear it in the news, it's referring to a country or an empire, okay? So you might hear the term American hegemony or US hegemony, okay? Now you often hear this term used these days if you're reading news about China or Russia. They use this term hegemony. They are saying American hegemony is over. Okay, so what does that mean? That means the control of the USA over the world is done. It's over, right? We don't want it. They're saying we don't want it. And many countries are saying that we don't want Americans to be our boss. We don't want it. We don't want the USA to be the only boss in the world. Okay, we don't want a unipolar world. A unipolar, you know what the word uni, the prefix uni means one, and the opposite of uni is multi, right? Multi means many. Man, look at this snow, guys. Smash like if you guys love that glistening snow. That is incredible. You guys are always welcome in my kingdom. Excuse me. If you are one of my subscribers, you are welcome in my kingdom of snow. That is just gorgeous. And I lost my voice. Look at that. Snow is melting here. Should I throw a snowball? I'll just toss it. I'll toss a snowball. All right, guys. I got distracted by that beautiful snow. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I just can't stop looking at it. It's so bright. It's just glistening there in the sun. Man, that's beautiful. Okay, so many countries are saying we don't want a unipolar world. We don't want US wants to be the only boss though, right? USA wants a unipolar world where they are the boss and they control everybody. But nowadays, China and Russia are saying, no, that's over. We're done. It's done. We are entering a phase where the world will be multipolar. Okay? So let me know down in the comments, would you rather live in a multipolar world or a unipolar world? Okay? So many countries in the world accuse the USA of being the global hegemon. Okay? So they use the term American hegemony, right? USA is hegemonic, right? So this word just means one group or one individual or one country or something is in control of another group, right? So you might hear people use the term, masculine hegemony. Okay, what does that mean? Or hegemonic masculinity. I guess you could say it both ways. Masculine hegemony or hegemonic masculinity. What does that mean? That is referring to the idea of men being in control over women. Right now I have a friend. I'll just cross the road here, guys. Let's go check out this construction that's happening over here. I see a huge crane, a type of piece of equipment. Construction equipment can be called a crane. It might have another word, I don't know. I'm not a construction expert, so I don't know the actual names of the different types of equipment, but usually kind of a long thing like that can be called a crane. All right. Now I have a friend who is a feminist, right? So, and my feminist friend uses the term the patriarchy all the time. She's always talking about the patriarchy. Now, what does that mean? The patriarchy refers to the reality that throughout history, civilizations have been controlled by men. Okay, that's what it means. It is referring to male control throughout history. It's called the patriarchy. Okay, so she's always using that term, and she hates the idea, because she's a feminist. She hates the idea of men being in a position of control. Okay, so she loves the word, she uses the word all the time, the patriarchy, but she hates the idea. Okay, so she would she would talk about you know, male hegemony, or if you're taking a gender studies course program at university, you know, you will definitely come across this term hegemony in relation to genders, right? Where one gender has the power over another gender throughout history, right? So that's, you could use the word hegemony in that way about gender stuff, or you could use it in an international context, talking about one country's dominion over the other people, over the other countries, right? Or you know, like I said, you could use it to talk about a person or a group, you know, maybe a race or a religious majority. You know, some countries have where one group has the control in the country, and there are minority groups that are kind of underneath that control. Maybe they don't like it. Most of the time they don't like being in a minority position, right? Wow, guys, look at that big crane, big building here. I don't know what they're building. Is this an apartment building? I don't know if it's an apartment building, because you see these big bay doors at the bottom here. Oh no, those are windows. I thought they were bay doors. Big windows at the bottom. I don't know what this is actually. It might be a store, like a little a strip mall kind of thing, where these are going to be shops each. Let me actually go over there. Let me get a bit closer, guys. Sorry for the noise. You'll have to put up with the engine noises. Wow, it's kind of loud. So I don't know, what do you guys think this is? Big, like, I don't know what those are. It looks like bay doors to me. Yeah, like it's not a window. That would be a massive window. Looks like something you would be able to drive in, right? So I'm not sure, guys, what this is going to be. Maybe loud generators on these vehicles. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, guys. I just wanted to see what was going on here. All right, let's seek some peace and quiet. Gonna escape the construction noises and go find a quiet place to make the video. Oh, I think it's gonna be something like that, right? So there we see the finished product. I don't know if it's finished yet, but it's getting there. So it looks like it's going to be some sort of strip mall, except that's going to be a double-story strip mall. I don't know, maybe there's going to be apartments up there, or I don't know. So this looks like kind of a shopping area, a commercial area, right? This is residential. The place where people live is called residential. The place where you buy things is called commercial, right? So this is a commercial. Every residential neighborhood has a little bit of commercial somewhere nearby, right? Because people need to buy food, right? So, you know, these people, I'm sure when these stores are finished, there's a big cement truck driving there. When these stores are finished, it's going to be probably a nice shopping area. So the residential people will shop at the commercial, the stores, right? Okay, so that was a rabbit trail. You hear that truck's air brakes? Guys, I don't know anything about big trucks or construction vehicles. I think those are called air brakes, right? You can hear the air being released, right? So so hegemony, guys. You know, usually when you read the news these days, you hear that term hegemony being used to talk about the American dominance, right, over the world. And this has been that way for a long time, right? The American dollar has been the dominant global currency. That's called the global reserve currency. Okay, so if you're listening to a podcast or reading the news and you hear that term global reserve currency, It's talking about the US dollar having had that status for many, many years. And maybe they're saying there's going to be a new global reserve currency. Maybe the BRICS countries will get together and create a currency to replace the American dollar. Okay, the BRICS countries are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS. Those are some pretty big countries economically in the world, right? So some people say the BRICS countries are going to release a new currency to compete with the US dollar as the world's, like, the global reserve currency, right? I mean, the US dollar has been, I'm out of breath, guys, and I hear some geese. Where are those? Oh, I missed them. Flew over there. I'm out of breath, guys. I need to lose a little bit of weight. I shouldn't be walking to an Indian restaurant. I'll be honest with you guys right now. I'm going to an Indian restaurant to buy some Indian food. Guys, I just love eating Indian food, so that's probably why I'm a little bit fat these days. But anyway, guys, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, the global reserve currency. So it's been this way for a long time. Remember back in the early 1970s, there was a guy named Henry Kissinger. He was one of the leaders in the US government. He went over to Saudi Arabia and he met with the king at the time there. And guys, I'll just show you. In Canada, sometimes people, if they don't have a garage or a garage or a garage, again, different pronunciations of the word, if they don't have a place to park their vehicle out of the, you know, the weather, they will often buy a cover like this to cover their vehicle. Okay, just to kind of protect it from the elements. The elements means nature. Okay, so if you want to protect your car from the elements, it means you want to protect your car from rain, snow, maybe hail, that kind of, although I don't know if that cover would really protect against hail. Probably to some extent, but I'm not sure. Sometimes it hails, like here in Redstone, right? This area, this community is called Redstone. Here in Redstone a few years ago, remember I made a video about that hailstorm? That was nuts. We had hailstones like that big. So I don't think a cover would protect against those kinds of hailstones. But anyway, oh yeah, I was saying in the early 1970s, there was a leader in the US government. I can't remember what his position was, something like the leader of the finances or something like that. He went over to Saudi Arabia. He met with the king at the time, and he made a deal with the king of Saudi Arabia where Saudi oil had to be sold in American dollars. Okay, so they made this deal, and it gave benefits to the Saudi Arabian kingdom, and the US probably got more benefits, because what it did was it meant that the whole world had to use American dollars to buy Saudi oil. Guys, I'm just gonna run across the street here. I guess we're making our way to that direction, where the Indian restaurant that I'm going to. So let's see if I'm finished rambling by the time I get there. This is kind of a long video where I'm just rambling, talking about hegemony, teaching you about hegemony. Okay, so the Saudi Arabian kingdom got some deal, some protection, or like US, you know, US military protection. I don't know everything about that deal, but I think they were forced into it. The US loves to force their will on the world, right? So in this deal, the whole world had to use American dollars to buy Saudi oil. Okay, so if you wanted to buy Saudi oil, or your country, you would have to buy American dollars from somewhere, and then go to the Saudis and buy their oil. You couldn't just take your own currency. You couldn't use rupees or reals or liras or anything like that. You have to use dollars. Okay, so what that did was it created an artificial demand for dollars, right? The word artificial means fake. Okay, it wasn't a real demand. It wasn't like people wanted dollars, right? If you really want something, that's a real demand. But if you have to do something else in order to do that, it's an artificial demand. It means that yes, the demand for US dollars is increasing, but it's not because people love American dollars. It's because they have to buy American dollars in order to buy Saudi oil, right? And that was called the petrodollar. And that's where this term, now again, if you're listening to podcasts, financial podcasts, you will definitely hear this term used, petrodollar. What that means is this system, okay? The system of the US dollar being the only currency that can be used to buy Saudi oil. Okay, it's called petro. Though another word for oil and gas, it's kind of petro, right? I don't know why they called it the petrodollar. I don't know who came up with that term, but that's what it meant. That's what it means, right? When you hear the term petrodollar. Yeah. Loud trucks. They're doing a lot of construction in this area, so if you guys want to buy a house in my kingdom, you better ask me for permission first, because guys, I'm the hegemon here. I'm the hegemon of my kingdom, the kingdom of snow, right? So petrodollar, let me know, did you know that term? If you knew that term petrodollar, let me know in the comments. So they have been the global hegemon. They've been the leader, the controller of, you know, of the world for a long time. And countries are now saying, hey, you know what? We don't want you to be the global hegemon, and we don't want your money, because what's made them the global power is their money, right? So you have this system, right? Their financial system that they have exported to the world, right? So everybody in the whole world has pretty much had to deal with the US system, whether they like it or not, right? It's kind of like if you have a room and you have an elephant in the room. Imagine you're in let's say you're in your house and there's a big elephant living in your house. When the elephant moves, everybody else kind of has to move as well to find some space to live, right? So the USA has been the elephant in the house. They're huge, a huge economy, you know, their money system, their everything really, the language, the Hollywood, all the movies that you've seen over the last, you know, 100 years or whatever. They've been very successful in exporting their culture. Like the USA has been successful in exporting their money, their culture, their everything, their language, right? The reason English is the world's language is because of the fact that the USA, and before the USA it was England, right, which also spoke English. Right, so you've had the last two empires in the world, huge empires that have controlled much of the world. They have been English-speaking empires. They've been English-speaking hegemons, right? That's the only reason English is the world's language. If you go to any airport in the world today, you see English. I've never been to an airport in my whole life that doesn't have English. Why? Is it because people just want to learn English because it's a nice language? It's not a great language. I don't know. It's just a language, right? There's nothing special about English. But what's special about it is that it allows you to function in this world. Guys, I need to cross this puddle here. I'll do it kind of gingerly. Gingerly means kind of softly, kind of delicately. If you're kind of walking across some ice or kind of walking across, trying to cross a puddle, where you don't want to get your feet wet or whatever you can say. I'm just gonna walk.
Wait.
I'm gonna walk. Look, this guy speaks English too.
Wait.
See? Everything speaks English. Why? Because of our hegemony. Look, it's English too, right? It's written in English. It's not written in Chinese or anything like that. So guys, we're just waiting to cross the street here. Isn't that oh, here we go, guys. Isn't it crazy that I have to wait to cross the street in my own kingdom? I don't get treated very respectfully here. They should have rolled out the red carpet, right? To roll out the red carpet means to welcome, in a very honorable way, to welcome someone. Usually countries do this, right? They roll out the red carpet for the visiting king or the visiting prime minister or something, right? So nobody rolls out the red carpet for me, guys. But I don't need it because I have the glistening snow. Look at that field of snow. Oh, that's so beautiful, guys. The glistening snow. Oh, wow. I love it. So, guys, I got distracted. I lost my train of thought. That means I can't remember what I was talking about. I was talking about hegemony. I was talking about the petrodollar. I was talking about the US exporting their language, their culture, their money. Everything is that way, right? So let me know, do you think people have no respect for their king? Guys, do you think the English language is going to last much longer? I've asked this question before on my channel. When do you think the English language will come to an end as the global language? Sometimes people call that the lingua franca. The term lingua franca means the language of commerce, trade, economy, power, the language that is over the whole earth, or an area maybe, right? So English has become the world's language because of these last two empires. But now the Chinese and the Russians are saying, hey, wait a minute, it's over. They've both declared it's over. And now we live in a multipolar world. So let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. So they're saying we don't want any more of your hegemonic tyranny over us, right? We don't want your hegemony. We don't want you to be the global hegemon, right? So those are the different forms of the same word, right? So let me know, guys. Do you understand this word now that I've talked about it? You will see it quite a bit if you are following the news these days, or if you're studying something to do with history or power, control, gender, all this stuff. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I just wanted to take you out for a walk here in my kingdom, show you the glistening snow, and teach you that word, hegemony, because it's a pretty advanced word, but you hear it actually quite a bit these days. So that's why I wanted to teach you, you know. Anytime I'm listening to a podcast or I'm reading the news and I hear a word or I read some term that I'm pretty sure most English learners won't know, I just think I have a list on my phone of the words that I want to make videos about. So yeah, so today I pulled out my phone. So I want to make a video about this word because I've heard it a lot recently. So there it is, guys, hegemony. Would you like me to be your hegemon? If you live in my kingdom, you're gonna have to accept me as your hegemon, guys. The hegemon of the glistening snow. So let me know if you would like to live in my kingdom here. You're welcome. You're welcome. So guys, anyway, that's it for today. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're staying healthy and happy. As always, I love you so much. And You know, drop me a line. Drop me a line. That means send me a note. Send me a message right down in the comments. Drop me a line to let me know how you're doing today. Hope you're doing great. So guys, with that, I'll bid you farewell from my kingdom of glistening snow, and I will see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.